Look how far we've come, all the things we've done. Did it all with love, beauty from the bottom up. All I want is you, you're my favorite view. But there's nothing more, girl, you make my heart beat.
And we are back.
Welcome back, you beautiful bitches.
Today's episode is going to drop on Halloween.
Oh, I wish I knew that.
I didn't know it until about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I would have gotten dressed.
I was checking. I mean, you're still, your pants are kind of Halloweenish. I'm wearing black and orange too. We're kind of matching almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Kind of. A little bit.
Close enough.
Yeah.
So we are going to be doing an episode today where yesterday I had the format. I created a Google document and we did the thing. And today you did one.
Yep.
So you're going to take the reins on this. However, I want to get into something else real quick before we get into all of that.
Okay.
For those, we are recording live in front of Discord. We always do. For those of you who are not a member of our Patreon, we highly recommend that you become a member because you get access to a whole lot of cool shit, including what I'm about to announce. We had a room open up for the North Carolina couples retreat that's going in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. We're going to resell it. We put it up on the website. We're pulling it back down. We're going to end up giving the room away.
We're going to raffle it.
You're going to we created a chat in Discord, and the chat is, if you are able to make it to North Carolina, we understand that, look, we get it. We fucking get it. Not everybody has $2,000 that they can spend for a weekend. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people need help regardless of their financial situation. We have an opportunity to open that room up for somebody to be able to come and stay and not charge them for it. You still have to find your way there.
Yes.
We're not responsible for your transportation, but the room is going to be given to somebody in our Discord. That way, people that are in maybe the North Carolina and surrounding states could just drive and stay for the weekend and get some help. But we did create a chat in Discord called the North Carolina Retreat. If you can go, you just got to go in there and say, we can go. And then we're going to pick somebody the next day or so. I think that when we do our retreats moving forward, we should keep a room available for people
to give away
and just do this every single time.
Oh yeah, I love that idea. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to give back to our community.
I agree. There's a lot of people out there, we see people leave the Discord quite a bit because of financial reasons. And if people are struggling for $15 a month for a Discord channel, sometimes, people have to prioritize their life. And if people are canceling their Netflix to be able to stay in our server, like to be able to do shit like this it feels good. So, also looked up the air balloon thing yesterday after we had this conversation about hot air balloons. And I realized that the hot air balloons are insanely expensive.
Yeah.
And not a very long trip.
You said it was what, an hour?
An hour in the air, and it's $2,000 for a private tour. Otherwise, you're in a basket with 12 other people for fairly cheap.
How big are the baskets?
12 other people in a confined space doesn't work for me.
Right.
So I don't know if we're going to get to ride in air balloons while we're in Utah.
Okay.
I just don't know if I want to spend that kind of money. I'd rather go-karting or, do something that doesn't cost $2,000. Like that costs more than our flights and shit out there.
Yeah.
So
I'm down to go-kart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk a lot of shit. I talk a lot of shit about a lot of things, but.
So there's actually a go-kart place in Fort Myers that's opening, I believe at the end of summer. I found them on Facebook today. And their track's not just a round track. Like it's a multi-leveled thing.
Oh, yes.
And when it showed up on my Facebook earlier, I sent them a message and was like, I'm interested in when you guys open to rent the event space.
Yeah.
Because that would be a cool Florida meet and greet.
Hell
if we can rent the entire thing out for a day for, a couple $1,000, we can get all the tattoo shop guys down there and then we can do a meet and greet because we'll have the entire place to ourselves. So I think that would be really cool too.
I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. I love being an adult child. That's fun for me. Yep. Oh, do you want to hear something silly?
Yes, I want to hear something silly.
So I put on, I have multiple deodorants floating around on my side of the bathroom.
Oddly enough, so do I.
Right. So if I can't find the one I'm looking for, I have backup plans. And I couldn't find the one that I usually use, so I picked up one of the other ones and I put it on my armpits. And as I was putting it on, I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Was it mine?
No, okay. It wasn't. And then I found my regular deodorant. Next day I was putting it on. I put it back where it belonged. And it probably took 2 or 3 days, but I couldn't stop thinking about why that deodorant didn't feel right. And yesterday morning, I was standing there brushing my teeth and I looked over and I actually read it, right? I usually just look at colors and identify brands, objects. And I actually read it this time, and it's the anti-chafing glide.
Oh, it's the stick you got from Zach in Costa Rica.
And like also at the end of the day, I was like, why do I smell so bad?
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That is good.
I was like, this deodorant sucks.
That's so funny. You know, I actually am not ashamed to admit this. I have become a dirty foot. Like I find myself wearing shoes less and less, and I've been going outside without my shoes on, which doesn't happen. Yeah. And I've also been wearing deodorant less and less because of the chemicals that are in deodorant. And like, if I'm not doing anything outside and I'm going to be in the air conditioning all day, I'm not putting the shit on.
Yeah.
I just don't care. And in the event that you were like, hey, you stink, I'll just go take a shower real quick because I'm home. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got going on today, babe?
So I made a document, a PDF, compiling of a bunch of things. There's a bunch of bullet points for us to talk about. So this is not going to be where I'm just going to read something like an article. We're going to read a bullet point. If we have something to discuss, we can do so like we did yesterday. And this is why people cheat / why relationships fail.
Okay.
And I felt this is a pretty good follow-up to the one that you did yesterday about identifying flirting between the sexes. So I also broke this up between men and women and how that looks between the genders and all that stuff.
I am already anticipating the hate that we're going to get in the comments on TikTok.
Oh, I know. It's going to be taken so personally.
You know we're legally not allowed to talk about how much money we make on TikTok. Did you know that?
I did not know
They
that.
updated their terms of service, and if we were to disclose how much money we make on TikTok, we could lose the creator program.
That sounds illegal.
I mean, we have to agree to it in order to use it.
Right.
Well, it's no different than Twitter now requiring IDs for the blue check mark.
Yeah.
Like they're collecting data on their users. That wasn't a thing before. Anyways, because of the allowance video and how big that video blew up and how fast it blew up, we almost doubled what we made on TikTok last month, which is fucking great because our TikTok numbers have been garbage. We've been making more money on YouTube than we have on TikTok, and our YouTube numbers, right? We haven't even been going live. Like our YouTube numbers have been trash.
Yeah.
So it's wild to see the jump like that. Anyways, this is going to be a very interesting thing. It's going to piss off a lot of people because there's going to be people in the comments going, there's no reasons for people to cheat. That's never a thing. You can't make excuses. You're justifying shitty behavior. Ugh.
Blah, 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 blah.
That's how it's going to go. Because you're not allowed to have a conversation about things like this.
Right, no.
You just have to shun the behavior.
So I put a lot of thought into this, and it really blows my mind that people really only have anger or joy towards a situation because they're emotionally tied to the situation.
Of course they are.
Take a step back from the emotions and just hear the perspective of it.
Exactly. It's not hard to have a conversation. People are so emotionally charged because they want to be right. I think that's why yesterday at the end of the episode that we recorded yesterday. Oh, by the way, today's August 3rd.
August 3rd.
Keeping up on that.
Thank you.
We recorded last Friday's episode on yesterday, the 2nd. But we put at the end of that, the last thing to have the conversation about politics on your initial courting phase, like date night, so that you can learn your person, because everything is so politically charged that people just can't have conversations anymore.
Yes.
Could you, I just don't get it. I made a post on Facebook yesterday about all this. Like, I love you guys, like all of you, humanity as a whole. Like I've become a much more compassionate,
human person.
I realize that we are all one.
Yeah.
And I love everyone, and I want to have conversations, and I want to understand, and I don't want to just argue with you. And like, because of that, my political leanings have changed a lot. A lot has changed over the last 6 months with us. A lot. But I'm having people in my real life that disagrees with my political views even a little bit, and they won't talk to me about it. I'm like, guys, we are not going to ever find common ground if we can't have a discussion. I was like, we may not agree on the methods on where we need to go, but if we have the conversations, I'm willing to bet we agree on the outcome.
Right.
It's just a matter of how do we get there. It's fucking crazy to me.
It is absolutely insane. And our government takes advantage of it.
Absolutely, because if they keep us divided, that keeps them in power. If politicians actually did their job, or Big Pharma actually did their job, we wouldn't need politicians or Big Pharma.
Right.
And that's the reality of it. These people hold power by not getting shit done and not doing what they're supposed to do. Yep. And everyone knows it. We all know that. Like, that's not a secret. But as long as we're divided, nothing will change. And that's the point of all of the division and the stupidity that happens.
We are too preoccupied, or we're too comfortable.
Yeah. Yep. Too busy hating each other.
Yeah. Well, also, why would we want to have an uprising when we have the internet and Netflix and AC and...
Yeah.
coziness, if we go against our government, I feel like I'm going to get shot for saying this. If we go against our government, our lives are going to be harder. Supply chains are going to die down. Like life is going to get tougher a bit. I don't think people will want to tolerate that.
Yeah, I think corporations would take over at that point because they would see an opportunity for profit.
Yeah.
Here's the reality of it. Let's take taxes, for example. There are 330 million Americans in the United States. There's less than 100,000 IRS agents. On a grand scale, like when you think about it, that's like what, like 3%?
Yeah.
Less than 3%. So if we had half of the country go, you know what, I'm just not going to pay taxes anymore, there's nothing they could do about it. We would win that. But as long as we're arguing over shit and we're being divided, we can't come together to make that decision as a people. So,
but we'd also have to, well, yeah, finding new solutions for it. I don't know. I think that a vast majority of the population will choose laziness over all of that.
well, I mean, that's the ultimate form of laziness.
Yeah.
Not having to file your taxes.
Right.
That's a nightmare, especially if you don't have an accountant and you've got to do it all by yourself. Like you want to talk about not doing something out of laziness. I'd love to not file taxes out of laziness. Like that'd be great. But it could be like that on a whole lot of other factors. You know, if everyone defied the law, there would be no one to enforce it.
Right.
And they can't arrest all of us, right? Like, yeah, I think about that shit a lot.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I feel like my point's not being understood though.
What do you mean?
That like people actually agreeing to do all of that and the fight that comes after it, I don't think people are going to want to do that. They're going to choose their comforts over the uprising.
Right. I don't think there would be an uprising though. If everybody just decided for the taxes thing to just not pay it, there would be no uprising. The government would be like, well, we can't enforce this. And if you look at tax law and you understand tax code, it's unconstitutional. We're not like, unless you're a corporation or you live in Washington, D.C., you're not required to pay your taxes. We voluntarily do that shit. And there's actually a hot mic where a politician actually said if the people ever realized that this was voluntary, they would stop paying it. But there would be no uprising there. I do understand what you're saying, though. In the event where we went after the government, the fallout from that would be massive. And it's why every time the conversation of civil war has come up, I'm like, that's not the answer. I don't want to live without power or fucking medical supply chain. You know what I mean? Like, and that would be the first thing to collapse would be our medical.
You don't think they would call the army in, the military in, if we decided to stop doing things the government wanted us to do?
I think that would violate the oath of the people who are in uniform. If they, you know, there's a whole lot of going against the American people, and you got to think that all of those people who are in uniform have family members here. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that they would be able to do that. Calling the National Guard in to stop riots, that's a violent action. That's a different scenario. But, you know, but also that speaks to whether or not the protests are a peaceful protest. That's why I said Gandhi's the most powerful person that's ever lived.
Right.
He changed the course of history without lifting a finger, which is fucking insane to me. But I do understand what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. And I agree with you. I think the backlash on a lot of that shit would be a lot. But it would take all of us standing up versus factions of people standing up.
Right.
Yeah.
You ready to get into this?
I am.
So I have this broken down into multiple sections. This first part is quotes from people who have said this in articles, interviews, whatever the case may be, about why they chose to cheat in their relationship. So the first half of this is going to kind of lean into reasons why people cheat. It's not an excuse, but the reasons that people feel like they were backed into that corner. And then it transitions into why relationships can fail outside of the cheating aspect.
Okay.
So the first one is, I feel like a ghost in my own home. I'd sit at the dinner table and feel more alone than if I were physically by myself. I didn't cheat because I stopped loving her. I cheated because I stopped feeling like I existed to her. The other woman saw me, and that's all it took.
That's actually very true.
Yeah.
That feeling like a shell of a person, or that feeling alone in a group, like a room full of people that are supposed to love you, like that's like true depression. And there's a lot of ugly that comes from that. I agree with that. With my infidelity, that's pretty much what started it.
Yeah.
But
that the other woman saw me, there's a difference between acknowledging my existence and actually seeing me and what I'm going through, what I'm suffering with, what I'm celebrating.
yeah.
I'd sit at the dinner table and feel more alone than if I were physically by myself. That screams roommate phase to me.
Yeah.
Lack of intimacy. We're not having conversations beyond how was your day? What do you want for dinner? Good night.
Do you think there's a difference between the roommate phase and a lack of intimacy? Do we need to create a new phase? I think we need to create a new phase.
Between lack of intimacy and the roommate phase?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's one thing to not have sex.
Right.
It's another to not have intimacy.
Yes.
Right? Like there are people in relationships who do the deed because it's required. There's no engagement or
Emotional
excitement
tie,
or emotions or intimacy. It's Wednesday night. We're scheduled to have sex at 7 p.m. Let me go pop this Cialis and go do my thing. Or Viagra or whatever it is that you need to do the thing that you hate with the person that you hate. You know what I mean? Like, I think that there needs to be another phase invented.
We should put some thought into that.
We should.
I concur, doctor.
I would rather live in a roommate phase than a lack of intimacy phase. Because I can have my needs fulfilled in a whole lot of other ways other than sex. Don't get me wrong. Sex is super fucking important. It's very important. We know that there are couples out there who end their relationships because sex matters that much to them. But the intimacy to me matters so much more. And if we had sex and it was just grudge fucking and there was nothing behind it other than a nut, like that's fine for a quickie on a Tuesday afternoon before going to the movies.
Right.
But that's not if that was a habitual thing or a repetitive act.
I'd be disgusted by it eventually.
Right. I think you both would.
Yeah.
I think you both would.
Number 2, I wanted to feel powerful again. I was tired of being told what to do, how to act, how to talk. At home, I felt small. The affair made me feel like I had agency again, like I had control over something.
I would see this becoming an issue more for men than women.
Because they need to feel like they crave that. I want to be the leader, the provider.
I do. I believe that. I think that, let's be real. Nobody wants to be told what to do. That's why we say that love makes requests, not demands.
Right.
We don't ever tell each other what to do. It's always a request. And sometimes that request is, hey, can you just real quick, or I'm going to do this. Can you do that? And it might sound like I'm telling you what to do, but there is always a question mark. Like there's no demands there. I don't want to be told that I have to go do a fucking anything. But that, I felt small. The affair made me feel like I had agency, like I had control over something. You get those men who work 60 hours a week and come home and don't know their children. They don't know their wife. When they walk in the door, there's a honey-do list and nagging and complaining, and there's constant tension in the home, and they don't feel connected in any way, shape, or form. Having somebody come through that smiles at them, that lets them be themselves and allows them to like plan a date. Or, hey, I got you something today. And it's, oh, thank you. Instead of, I don't like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
not what I asked for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I can see how that would, I see how that type of emotional infidelity would lead to actual physical cheating.
I think that I wanted to have control over something again. For women, looks like emotional cheating versus physical cheating.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I still think it would lead to physical cheating, though.
I agree. At some point, everything takes a next step.
What do you think is worse? Physical cheating or emotional cheating?
Emotional cheating.
You know that most men disagree with that. Most men feel like physical cheating is worse. And the reason I say that is because in the event of infidelity, you will say, did you love her? And I will say, did you fuck them?
Yeah.
And that's actually a thing. And you know, it's crazy that that's the difference in our brains.
Yeah. I can't remember what I read. For men, that's one of the most emotional connecting moments to have with their woman is during sex.
It is.
And for women, it's when we're able to have conversations about our emotions and feel understood and all those kinds of things.
I'm going to change the thought pattern on that.
What do you mean?
It's kind of the same thing. For women, you said that it's the conversations and all of the things that go on in the day-to-day. The emotional intimacy and the feeling desired and wanted and loved and taken care of and protected. That's the thing that does it for you guys. And for us, you said it was the sexual aspect. Well, you're mine.
Right.
Right. So the giving you of all of those things is what shows you that you're mine. And then the sexual aspect solidifies it for the emotional
exchange.
Right. So when you do sleep with somebody else, I am no longer feeling like I'm doing all of those things in the process. And then you giving yourself to another person is where that comes from. I believe that.
I agree with that.
I believe it. I believe.
Number 3, I thought I could get away with it. Honestly, I didn't think I'd get caught. I never planned to leave my wife. I just compartmentalized. Looking back, I was playing with fire just to feel alive.
I think that ties into number 1.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't think that most people do infidelity think they're going to get caught. Everybody thinks they're slick. Everyone thinks they're
I'm
slick.
the smartest person in the room.
Right. And there's even a phrase, the heart doesn't feel what the eyes don't see. Have you ever heard that? It's the same thing. It's in that same realm of asking for forgiveness is easier than asking for permission. But I think that that's the same thing. Nobody ever thinks about them getting caught. I also don't think that in the moment of passion where you feel invigorated and you feel desired and wanted and all of those things that you haven't felt in your relationship is firing off in your body, the last thing you're thinking about is the fact that you've got another person.
Yeah. I don't really have anything on that one. That kind of speaks for itself.
I shall scroll.
Number 4, she made me feel like a man again. My wife and I hadn't been intimate in almost a year. I felt invisible, just like the dad or a roommate. When someone else flirted with me, I was starved for it and I ate it up.
Yep, we've talked about that a lot. You've used the desert analogy quite a bit with that.
Yes. Reading that, I felt invisible, like just the dad or a roommate. That would crush me. If I was no longer viewed as your wife and I was just viewed as the mother to your children, that emotional separation would be a very devastating blow.
Why do you think that happens?
In relationships?
Yep.
The children are prioritized over the marriage.
What else?
A lack of concern for the needs of the spouse.
I think a lot of it falls into routine.
Yeah.
Right? You wake up and do the same thing every day and you take things for granted, right? Like if you have a man or a woman in the house that makes really good money and you guys don't have to look at your bank before filling your gas tank up, or you can just go grocery shopping and spend whatever you need to spend and it's not a big deal, that becomes your normal. And for people that don't have that, they look at that and they go, holy shit, you can do that? Like they would not take that for granted at first. But over time, that would become their life and it would become normal for them. So for people who have the routine of get up, go to the gym, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed, or play video games, drink a beer, go to bed, whatever. And there's not date nights and there's not, all of us sitting at the table as a family and having conversations about things that's not work or chore related. That routine is a destruction. Like it kills things because you're no longer living with intent. You're just going through the motions because this is what your life is now. And I think that that's one of those things that can be really fucking avoided, but it takes a consistent effort and situational awareness or self-awareness as to what's going on. If you feel I felt invisible and just like the dad or a roommate, I'm willing to put money on it that your partner does too.
Yeah.
Because you can't have one side without the other. Now, the other person could be disgusted by you. You could be, you might have halitosis now and they don't want to kiss you. You could be 300 pounds heavier than you were when you dated. You could have a lack of sex drive. You could have psoriasis. You could have a whole lot of things going on that your partner just deems unacceptable. And that's not saying that any of these things make you unattractive. It could just make you unattractive to them. And that could be a shitty situation where your person's just not attracted to you anymore. And that's, that could create a wedge. But I'm willing to bet the other is it's the routine. I believe that too. It's why it's important to be like, hey, I need a date night.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm feeling a little bit detached before it becomes, hey, I feel really detached. Yep. Real quick. I heard you take a deep breath. Just real quick.
Okay.
For you guys who are not in our Patreon, you're missing a really good chat right now. I keep looking over and there's great comments being stated. What you are not changing, you're choosing. I fully believe that. Somebody else said, only sorry when they get caught, right? Like there's actual chats happening in here that our fans or followers are actually going through and discussing. So if you guys would like to be a part of the chat, you need to be a part of the Discord. You get into our Patreon community, get into Discord. You can watch all this shit live while we're recording and we interact with you guys. We have a lot of private live streams. We're going to start watching movies with you guys in here, which is going to be fun. We're going to be doing live calls soon. We're waiting on those forms to come through. But Patreon is a thing. Patreon.com/to-be-better. Go check it out.
Number 5, I was lonely but too proud to admit it. My husband worked late. I worked from home. We barely talked. I never said I was lonely because I didn't want to sound needy, so I started messaging someone online and it got out of hand.
I think that so far this is the most egregious of the things that we've read.
Elaborate.
My husband worked late. I worked from home and we barely talked. My husband works all the time. I'm home all the time and I miss him and I'm lonely. And instead of telling him that and reconnecting, you made a choice to find an easier ploy. And this comes down to, I don't want to sound needy and I don't want to sound like I'm nagging because The go-to is, well, you work so much, and not, I miss you. It's a very different conversation. I think that that's the worst sin out of all of these so far, because somebody is out there trying to kill themselves to make sure that you can, from a man's perspective, our job is to go out there and make money and try to kill ourselves to provide a life for our family. And while we're doing that, this is happening.
Yeah.
And I would view it the same way for military personnel.
Oh, I agree. 100%. Yeah, I agree with what you just said. Thank you for elaborating.
You're welcome.
Number 6, I wanted to hurt her the way she hurt me. She cheated first. I forgave her, or I thought I did. But I had all this resentment building up. When the opportunity came, I took it. It wasn't love, it was revenge. I think that if you are the person who was cheated on in a relationship and you cannot move past it and you're building up resentment and you feel like you need to get revenge, you need to end the relationship.
Do you think that the eye for an eye thing is ever acceptable in a situation like this?
In a situation like this with cheating?
Yeah.
No. Why?
Because you're reading these things and I try to put myself in other people's shoes. And in this situation, like there would be like an eye for an eye thing. Mm-hmm. Like you did it, I did it, we're even now. You know that it hurts because he did it because he wanted her to hurt. Mm-hmm. So in that situation, like you now know what it feels like to be on the opposite end of this. We need to cut the shit out and fix our marriage. That was where my brain went right away, because it's like that song, hurt people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I love you. What is it? I'm sorry. I forgive you. I love you. Thank you. That's one of those things that like they say in that song that when I was hurt the most, I wanted others to feel how I felt. That I think that's a thing for a lot of people. I don't think that it's right by any means. I do think that in a situation where both people have done that to each other, at least there's a common ground for healing, because there is an understanding of what both people went through. Mm-hmm. But I also think that's surface level, because when you really think as to why the cheating happened from the first person, it could be very different. You know what I mean? Like it could be the work thing. It could be that I was not, you're not in love with the person anymore. It could be a whole lot of things. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's just the type of person, Right.
Next one is, it was a trauma response, not love. I've been sexually abused in my past, and I never really felt safe in intimacy. When my partner got too close, I panicked. Cheating helped me feel in control of something, even if it destroyed us.
I think that I take back what I said about 5 being the worst. This would be the worst.
Yeah.
Because you knew that you were abused in your past and you've done nothing in terms of your mental health to take care of this, and you just destroyed another person because of it.
Yeah, you chose to entertain somebody.
Yeah.
And when it got too far for you, you hurt them.
Yeah. I think conversations when you've been abused like that in the past need to be had.
Oh, 100%.
Before you move in, like those conversations need to be had, especially if that abuse leads to promiscuity, or if it leads to I don't want to say unhealthy sexual behavior, because I don't mean it that way. I just don't have a better word for it right now. Risque sexual behavior. Some people that have been abused have weird kinks. Weird is probably not the word. I don't think it's weird. I understand. Intense. We'll go with intense. Intense kinks. We can go with that. That's way better than weird. And I agree with that. That was a much better verbiage. I like that. It makes me feel less bad saying intense versus weird, because that was actually making me uncomfortable.
Right.
But I think that those are conversations that need to be had before moving in. Right? If you have those intense kinks and you need that fulfillment from your partner because you have unhealed trauma, at least they know where they're at and they know about the trauma, and they can try to guide or help you through whatever you need to go through.
It wasn't planned, but I didn't stop it either. We were drunk, we flirted, one thing led to another. I wish I could say I didn't know what I was doing, but I did. I just didn't want to deal with my problems at home.
You can remove drunk from that.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that in the moment where that fire is ignited and it's been so gone for so long, I can see that being a thing. And I was right in what I said. They weren't thinking about the other person. They were thinking about them.
Right. Their needs not being met.
Yep.
Next one is, I had convinced myself I deserved it. I had been the good guy for years, provided, stayed faithful, took care of everything. I started resenting how little appreciation I got.
Go you. Just, you guys can't see what's happening, but I scrolled too far And the appreciation I got wasn't seen, and then it scrolled all the way off the top of the screen, and she was able to catch it and keep reading.
Yeah.
Jesus. Sweet suffering Jesus.
That turned to entitlement, so I cheated and told myself I earned it. That's fucked up.
I want to reread that just because I interrupted you. I had been the good guy for years, provided, stayed faithful, and took care of everything. I started resenting how little appreciation I got. That turned into entitlement, so I cheated and told myself I earned it. That's the importance of gratitude. This is like you said earlier. There's a difference between like seeing somebody and not seeing somebody. Like truly being seen by your partner matters.
Yeah.
You know, you guys just being roommates and knowing each other and going through the motions versus truly seeing your person. Like we went through a whole thing that first ceremony. Like I'm not going to cry. But that was the thing.
Yeah.
It's different. It's so fucking different to truly be seen by your person. But that gratitude goes a long way. If your person does the things that they're doing day to day and you take it for granted and you don't tell them, I appreciate you going to work. I appreciate you taking care of the kids. I appreciate you taking out the trash. I appreciate that I haven't had to wash my underwear in the last 6 years because you've done it for me. Like that gratitude goes a long fucking way in letting your person know that they're valued. It doesn't, now again, this whole thing, like how little appreciation they got turned into entitlement. I think it turns into resentment more than entitlement. And you're doing this out of fuck you to them because they're tired of being seen or not being seen. But we've really talked a lot about the importance of gratitude. Like that's been a really big discussion on this podcast. And it's not just been year one. Like it's been a consistent theme.
Yes. I need to readjust, my back hurts.
Okay. Bandit Gaming said, not being seen by your person is harder than most people think. It really fucking is. It really, really is.
Okay. Ready for the next one?
I am. How many of these are on here?
We can do number 10 and move on to the next.
Well, we can do all of them. I just wasn't sure because I feel like we're moving very quick.
But there's 20 pages here.
Okay, dope.
Yeah.
I didn't know because I haven't even looked at this yet. So
yeah. Next one is I never learned how to sit with discomfort. Every time there was tension in our marriage, I shut down. So when someone else gave me attention, it felt easier. No work, no history, just ease. I wasn't running to them. I was running from conflict.
that's a trauma response.
Yeah.
I believe that whole thing is a trauma response. This is why you need to do the work in between relationships as well.
Yes. I agree.
I don't have anything on that one. I just think that's fucked up.
I agree that is a trauma response. That is, I never learned how to sit down with discomfort. Nobody likes feeling uncomfortable. And filling yourself with distractions to get away from that discomfort is going to ruin your life. That's why people become drug addicts.
Escapism.
Yeah. Alcoholics, workaholics, living paycheck to paycheck, maybe spending too much money on things they don't need because that's filling their cup and they don't have to worry about their problems. That's how people become hoarders.
Yeah. Yeah, I got through a whole lot of my problems by doing psychedelics. And like I know that we talk about that on this podcast quite a bit, but like if you live somewhere where you can do psychedelic assisted therapy and number 10 is you, that you don't know how to sit with discomfort, having a guided therapy session while you're in the medicine, like it's life-changing.
Yes.
And it doesn't take much. You can do a single session and get life-changing things from it. There are people that need to do multiple. You know, we've done multiple ceremonies. But it's, you know, there are places in Oregon, Colorado, I believe California has now legalized mushrooms as well.
Love that.
And depending on where you live in Australia, you know, it's psychedelics. Psilocybin is legal in Australia too. Germany just passed it. Like there's a lot of countries that are moving into plant medicine because it's so fucking effective.
What the hell is America doing?
Well, they're working on it. Okay. I think that, so I follow a lot of, I'm not a big cannabis person. I'm really not. I understand the need for it. Mainly because we live together and like we both have our medical cards, but you actually partake and I don't. I see the difference in you when you're smoking, when you're not, or when you're having a bad day, how it resets you. There's definitely a place for cannabis and plant medicines. I understand tobacco is a plant medicine. I don't view it that way because it's abused so poorly or so badly here in the United States, well, all over the world for that matter. But I follow all of that shit. And I believe that cannabis will be rescheduled to a class 3 before Trump leaves office. I would not be shocked if we don't see a major change by the end of this year with cannabis. And the new CIA director and somebody else that's in Trump's administration, it might be RFK, are very big on psychedelic therapies. So they've opened up a whole lot of new doors for places, big places, to be able to test it. And I would not be surprised if we didn't see a rescheduling of at least psilocybin before the end of Trump's administration as well. Because if it could be prescribed and be done in a holistic setting where there are actual people guiding and healing and therapy and integration afterwards, I don't think that it would be abused as a drug. There will be people that always abuse drugs.
Right.
But I think it's less likely to abuse psychedelics because it's not an addictive substance. But for people who have major trauma, I don't know why I went on this tangent. I think it was because of the discomfort thing.
Yeah.
I think that matters. So if you guys live somewhere where you have access to psychedelic therapy and you live with the discomfort situation, it might be something to look into with your healthcare providers.
Next one is, I thought if I sabotaged it, I wouldn't have to end it.
Oh, I want them to break up with me, so I'm not the bad guy.
Yeah.
Joke's on you. You're the
cheated.
bad guy for cheating or bad woman for cheating.
Yeah. I didn't know how to break up with my girlfriend. I was too afraid to hurt her or admit I wanted out, so I cheated, hoping that she'd find out. She did. It was awful. I hate how cowardly that was.
Yeah.
Definitely a big learning lesson. Gosh, I would be hurt a whole lot less if I was just broken up with versus being cheated on, finding out about it.
That's one of those things that if you really want out that bad, just leave.
Yeah, if somebody told me that, my first thought would be, you pussy.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of people out there, though, that are not willing to leave because they don't want to destroy their life. And they're doing all of these other things for all of their other reasons because leaving becomes too much of a burden. Whether your life is too enmeshed, businesses, kids, people have... Everybody that watches these TikToks are going to be like, there's never an excuse, blah, blah, blah. The reality is 70% of relationships have infidelity in them.
Yes.
50% have physical infidelity. The other 20% is emotional. So 70% of relationships have some form of infidelity happening in them, which means at least everyone on the planet at least knows somebody who's cheated.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just not possible. 7 out of 10 people. It's a lot when you think about it.
Next one, I needed to prove I was still desirable. I was aging, gaining weight. My husband didn't notice me anymore. When someone else did, it was like I came back to life. It wasn't about love or leaving. It was about ego and fear.
It's rough.
So the next part is behaviors that can push your partners away. This is meant to kind of help you guys become more self-aware of what you're doing within your relationships or the toxic behaviors that you may have within yourself that you may not recognize is contributing to the downfall of your relationship.
Okay. So we're moving away from cheating and into other...
Right. So this is, so what could lead to somebody no longer wanting to be in a relationship or trying to sabotage the relationship to make you leave them, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
So this one starts with women. And the first one is constant criticism or correction. And some examples are, why can't you ever load the dishwasher right? You are correcting how he talks, how he drives, or how he does chores. And often it's what?
Can we play a game with this?
Okay, yeah.
Do you have examples like that all the way down?
I do.
Okay. I'm going to give you the correct way to say it.
Okay.
I don't know what they are.
Right.
So I have to figure it out on the spot.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun for me.
Okay.
On the dishwasher, why can't you ever load the dishwasher right? Instead of that being the statement that's made, because that's never is being used or ever, whatever. You never. Why can't you ever? It's still a definitive. It's an attack. The proper way to say that is, hey, I really appreciate you doing the dishes and loading the dishwasher. However, our dishwasher sucks ass. And if the cups aren't in the right way, they don't get cleaned properly and I have to go back and rewash them. So when you do the dishes, instead of loading them cups up, can you put them upside down or can you organize it the way that this does? Because dishes get cleaned easier and then I don't have to go back and do it again. It makes my life way easy. I would really appreciate it. Not an attack.
Right.
I thanked you for what you did.
Yeah.
I explained why it's a problem. And then I showed you the way that I would like it done so that my life is easier because of it. Check mark.
Very good.
Go, Chris.
Next one is withholding affection or intimacy. Refusing to hug, kiss, or be intimate for long periods of time as a punishment. And physical touch becomes transactional. Maybe if you helped around the house, I'd be in the mood.
Oh, that's going to be hard. I feel like our workloads are uneven. I don't feel seen or appreciated for the things that I do in the house. And because of that, it's starting to build resentment and it's destroying my intimacy.
That's a good way to put that.
I would really appreciate it if you just gave me a little bit of extra help. And in doing so, I would have a little bit more time to relax and decompress. I would feel seen, especially with the gratitude for all the work that I do. And that would bring my intimacy levels back up.
That's good.
Okay.
I want to add one in there.
Okay.
I would have said,
this is fun.
I need help around the house. I am so focused on daily tasks that I feel like I don't have enough brain power to think about intimacy.
There you go. This is fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next one is comparing him to other men. Jen's husband just booked them a trip. Must be nice. Says things like, maybe if you were more like ex, brother, friend, etc.
Not me getting mad. I'm not even in a situation. Like, damn, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's never an acceptable thing. Never fucking compare your relationship to other people's.
Yes.
Especially when you isolate the person that you're with from the marriage. Because in this situation, it's maybe if you were more like so-and-so, not if our marriage was more like so-and-so's, which makes it even fucking worse.
Yeah.
So how about I'm seeing other people taking trips and doing things with their lives and I crave adventure? Can we start maybe planning at least a yearly vacation somewhere? I feel like my cup is drained. I feel like I'm the eternal mother. I feel like I'm nothing more than the guy that goes to work every day and comes home and gives up my paycheck, and you know, I'm miserable and you're miserable and we haven't had like real excitement in a long time. And seeing other people do those things makes me realize how much I miss it. That's how that should be presented.
It's good. Next. Speaking disrespectfully in public or private. Rolling eyes, cutting him off mid-sentence, and mocking his ideas.
Oh, God.
Talking to him like he is one of the kids. I guess I have to do everything myself again.
I'm actually getting bothered by this.
I know. I know. I can tell.
I don't like it when people do that shit in public.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know them, seeing people being disrespectful to each other in public drives me fucking nuts.
There's a humiliation factor there too.
Absolutely. But I know how much worse it is behind closed doors because if you view that behavior as acceptable in public, I can only imagine how worse it is behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. I guess I have to do everything myself again.
Is it still fun for you?
This one's hard.
Okay.
Because I don't know what it is that they're complaining about. But I guess this comes back to the last thing that I stated. I feel like I'm carrying too much of the load right now. I understand that you work and I'm very grateful that you do the things that you do and you pay the bills and you know, you make our life flow and I'm grateful. I'm so fucking grateful for it, but I'm so burnt out. I need a break. I need you to just help me pick up a little bit more than what you're doing. I know that it's going to stress you out for a while, but if you give me a couple of months to recharge my batteries, like I'll be good to go again. But right now I'm not there. That would be my, I don't know, but this sounds like this is a fight before it even got to that point.
Yeah. Trying to control or quote unquote fix him. Making decisions for him without asking. Policing how he dressed, speaks, or interacts. Don't ever wear that. It's embarrassing.
Okay, so that's an easy one because this is you're going from attacking his style to you're going to switch it into an opportunity to lift him up or her up for that matter. You know, this could be from either point, but the way that I would handle that is I know that that's super comfortable for you and it looks great around the house, but we're going to go out and I would love to see you in a, you know, my favorite pair of pants on you or wear your snakeskin boots or whatever it is that you want them to change. You give them a compliment with the other thing that you're trying to get them into.
Yes.
It's almost manipulative, but you're getting them to change without hurting their feelings and you're not shitting on them for the things that's comfortable. Like I'm wearing harem pants almost exclusively now. And if you were like, it's so embarrassing seeing you out in the public like that, it would crush me because I'm comfortable and I like the way I look. So for somebody who is comfortable in that outfit, maybe they're wearing fucking polka dots and stripes at the same time. You know what I mean? Or like, what is it? A purple tie with green socks, something that you weren't supposed to do in the 40s. I don't know.
Idea.
But you know, it could be one of those things and it just bothers the other person, but you can give a compliment and get them to change their clothes when you go out and then just let them be themselves otherwise. Let's dress up tonight and be someone we're not for the next 8 hours. Like, it doesn't have to be, it's embarrassing because you're shitting on your person at that point.
Right.
That judgment changes a person. It makes them not want to be themselves. And when people constantly cave and give to match the other person's wants, you lose all of your identity at that point. That's how the shell of a person happens, which gets you all the way back to a couple of these other ones at the beginning of the list that you were reading. I think it was 1, 3, and 5.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Next is using sex as a weapon, shutting down all intimacy after an argument with no plan to reconnect, expecting him to earn affection back. So this one doesn't have a verbal example, but I feel like those are self-explanatory.
I think shutting down intimacy after an argument is weaponizing, like it says.
Agree.
I think that's you are turning yourself into a whore because you are using sex as a transactional object at that point. It is no longer about intimacy. It is absolutely about the act of having a nut.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that women who sexualize or who weaponize sex like that have become unpaid prostitutes. They're trading sex for the act of something that they want done. It does make it transactional, and you are no longer in love with your person. There is no intimacy in the moment.
I agree. Next one is emotional shutdown, saying I'm fine, but offering cold treatments for days, refusing to talk about problems even after being asked multiple times.
I ain't doing that.
I know.
We ain't doing that here.
Yep.
You get 2, maybe 3s, maybe 3 of the I can tell something's up. Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah.
First time I ask, if I get a, hey, I'm not ready to talk about it, but we'll talk about it when we're ready, I'll be like, did I do something wrong? And if so, is there something I can start doing right now to start repairing things while you figure things out? Or is there something I need to not do moving forward and then we can discuss it whatever later? At least there's some sort of data given that lets me know I'm either in the wrong or it wasn't me, right? I'm fine. You're clearly not. I can tell by your tone. I'll ask again in another hour. And if you're still not ready to talk about it, maybe I'll ask tomorrow morning if we're still getting the cold treatment. But at that point, once that third time has happened, I'm going to be like, I've asked you 3 times now to talk to me about what's going on. You have not told me anything other than you're fine. So if you try to bring this up later, just know that I've tried to have this conversation with you and you shut me down. I'm going to return that favor. It's petty as fuck. And it is absolutely matching behavior and it's toxic. And that's one of the few times in life that I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because I have tried multiple times and all you've had to say is, yes, there's something wrong. I will absolutely talk to you about it when I'm ready, but right now I'm not ready to process it. And then you need to dial down that temperature from a cold 32 degrees back up to somewhat of a bearable temperature while we're living and cohabitating together while you figure your shit out.
Yep. Next one, neglecting praise or affirmation. Ignoring his efforts, mowing the lawn, taking care of the car, and fixing things. Never saying thank you, I appreciate you, or I'm proud of you.
Yep, this one's the gratitude thing. We've hit this one really hard the entire time, so I think we can scroll past unless you have something specific you want to hit on.
No.
Okay.
So this is what men can do with examples that can push away their partner, back them into the corner, help them rationalize cheating for whatever the case may be. The first one is emotional disengagement. Responding with grunts, I don't know, or whatever when she brings up emotional needs. Zoning out on the phone or the TV during conversations.
Okay. You said that this is when she brings up emotional needs, the I don't know or whatever. I don't know and whatever are two very different things. Whatever is very dismissive.
Yes.
And I don't know could lead to more conversation. So I would want to know where the I don't know would become a problematic. If she's bringing up her emotional needs and it's just one of those things where she's just unloaded her heart and he's like, yeah, I don't know. That's dismissive as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess this one is one that I don't understand where we're going. I definitely understand the zoning out on the phone or TV during conversations because there's a disconnect there and you're not listening. Is this about not validating somebody?
Yeah. So disengaging from the conversations. So I've been hit with that. I don't know. And it's when I've had conversations about my emotions with past partners and I was hit with that I don't know, it's me asking a question like, are you comprehending what I'm trying to lay out right now? Like what I just said, did that make sense to you? I don't know. Like totally not paying attention, disassociating, having default responses. Yeah.
Yeah. In that situation, I can tell by the voice that you made who that was. And that dude was dumb.
Yeah.
So like, I can totally see that being a thing. I want to, because I said validation. Validation is not ownership. And the reason I say that is because if I have to validate something that you're feeling in the moment, even if I did it, me validating your feelings is not owning the shit that I did. It's not saying that you're right and I'm wrong. It's just validating that you're feeling what you're feeling and that you're aware of it. It must really suck to feel that way. I can see that you're hurting right now and I'm sorry that you're hurting. That validation lets people know that you're picking up on the emotional aspect of what's happening. It's not an omission of guilt. And people need to make sure that they understand that it's not the same. And there needs to be repair that happens beyond the validation and not just, I'm sorry I hurt you.
Right.
Because that's passive. I actually think that's a passive aggressive way to end a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there needs to be more to that than I'm sorry I hurt you. Okay.
Next one is flirting or inappropriate behavior with other women. Texting female coworkers late at night with jokes or emojis. Saying things like, it's harmless, she knows I'm married.
How do you feel about that?
All of that?
All of it.
That, if it did not stop, would probably ruin our marriage.
No, it would.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. If you were working back at the tattoo shop, and as an owner of the shop now, if you were to be texting one of the male coworkers after hours about anything other than scheduling or work, I'd have a fucking problem with that.
Yeah.
You're off work. You can't do that shit while you're at work and you're on their schedule. Like, you're home with us now. Your work shit can wait.
Yeah.
If it was a girl at work and you guys were talking about going and doing something or making friendship, I would view that very differently.
I agree.
But I think that men and that cross gender messaging, there's intent behind it.
Right.
If you're home and you're there, like, that should be the focus. When it comes to the opposite sex, I guess it works the same way if you're in a same-sex marriage. It would, however that looks for you.
Right.
That would be a problem for me.
I agree.
It's harmless, she knows I'm married too, I think is a very dismissive thing. And this is something that literally everyone has said. Everyone has justified a friendship by something like that. This is the validating and not dismissing what your partner's feeling. And this is hard, especially if you enjoy the friendship that you're getting from these people. You don't want to end that friendship. You can distance yourself and still be quote unquote friends, but you don't have to engage with them every single day. You can distance yourself to give your partner the peace of mind that they need to let them know that you're not doing foul shit. And the more you distance yourself, the less likely that there will be emotional cheating or foul shit happening. Yeah.
I agree. Next one is taking her for granted. Never acknowledging daily efforts, cooking, parenting, cleaning, emotional support, and expecting everything to just get done without a thanks.
I think that goes to both.
Yeah.
Both aspects, him and her. I think just taking them for granted would have been a better way to word that.
Yeah, this isn't just specified for either gender. It's just kind of like a rough outline to pay attention to.
Yeah. And I say that more because of me, because I overlook things sometimes when I'm hyper focused on shit. I walked past you the other day while you were waiting on me to come do something. And again, we talked about this last night. You were like, "Hey, are you coming?" I was like, "Wait, did I walk by you?" And you're like, "Yeah." Well, fuck. Like I was so into what I was doing in the moment that I was oblivious to everything else. That's going to happen across the board. The other part of this is what we talked about earlier, not seeing your person.
Next one.
Yes.
Invalidating feelings. You're being too sensitive. You are always mad about something.
Oh, this is gonna open a can of worms.
This is like a two-sided coin for me.
Same.
Because this can be said as manipulative and being really shitty. This can also be factual.
Right. And that's why I was like, it's going to open a can of worms.
Yeah.
So you're being too sensitive means I don't feel the way you feel. You could be an overly sensitive person. That's a thing for a lot of people. You might be an underly sensitive person and nothing gets to you. And if you have those two people living in a house, there's always going to be one person that's sick of the overly sensitive shit. This is where compassion comes into play.
Yes.
But you need to be able to say like, hey, right now you're overreacting to the situation, or I don't understand why you're reacting the way you are to the situation. I don't see this as a big deal. It's still dismissive. This is one of the hardest things in a relationship to navigate, because if one person doesn't understand and the other person is going through something, the person that doesn't understand is going to seem insensitive no matter what.
Right. Because
even if they try to validate and they don't understand it, it's going to seem like lip service. We want our people to feel what we're feeling and to go through what we're going through because we're doing this together.
Right.
I also can see on the other side of that coin when you have those overly sensitive people who are either overly emotional, always crying about shit, or somebody who's always mad about something, which was the second point of this. People don't want to live with people like that.
Right.
You don't want your peace to be constantly disrupted. If you've got a beautiful landscape and somebody's constantly throwing boulders in your water, creating wake, like at some point you're gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna go look at a different lake because this is distracting and ugly to me and I don't like this.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a rough one. That could be a whole podcast all on its own.
Yeah.
I really don't like that.
Yeah.
I personally don't like overly sensitive people. If you can't control your emotions and regulate yourself, that's a fucking problem for me. So if you are in a relationship with somebody that you view as always sensitive, maybe when they're not an emotional mess, you need to have a conversation about learning to regulate their emotions and help them with that. But if you've had those conversations and it's constantly a fucking problem, like I can see how that would end. I could see how that would lead to cheating. I could see how that could, like, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
If you have a man that's constantly punching holes in the wall and kicking tables over and fucking constantly being an emotional wreck, it's no different. You're still having your life disrupted by bullshit.
Right. Not contributing at home, refusing to help with kids or housework, then complaining she's never in the mood. Spending weekends on the couch while she runs the house.
This is one of those things that's going to make me look like a piece of shit.
Yeah. You want to go to the next one?
No, I'll look like a piece of shit. I guess this is just going to, I hope maybe I won't post this to TikTok when it happens because this is going to get taken totally out of context.
Yeah.
Refusing to help with kids or housework. It's your responsibility to raise your children. That's not helping with the kids. That's being a parent. If your woman wants to go out, it's not your turn to babysit your children, right? Like it's parenting. I have a whole lot that I can say about that, but complaining that she's never in the mood, that has nothing to do with the housework or the kids. That's your lack of intimacy. Because if your intimacy was right, sit up for this. If your intimacy wasn't fucked up and you were beating the brakes off of it and everything was fulfilled and dates were happening and romance was still there and it was new again, there would be no complaining about the kids or housework. You can do a whole lot of shit when you're fulfilled and not complain about it.
Yeah.
There are people who work themselves to death and still have a very successful marriage and do all the shit in the marriage that normal people do because they're fulfilled in their marriage. This is, I'm not seen. I'm tired of the kids are a lot. Sex isn't happening when I want it. It's not happening how I want it. There's no longer, the excitement of text messages while we're at work and away from each other. There's no longer, I miss you. I'm looking at the clock knowing you're going to get home in a half hour. I'm getting mad about it. Because I'd rather be home by myself than have you as a body on the couch watching me do shit. There's a whole lot that goes into that, which makes somebody never in the mood. And it comes down to resentment. I think that's surface level shit. And I think that if the intimacy was right, that wouldn't matter.
I disagree with that.
Really? Why is that?
Because if there's still intimacy, but I'm still drowning in housework and I feel like I'm the only one parenting the kids, that's not enough.
That's where we differ. Maybe this is a man versus woman thing because I could do all of the things that are done in the house and I could stay on top of it. And as long as my love meter is being filled while doing it, it's not going to affect me. I have no problem taking on more and more work until I've got nothing going on. And that's all I do. As long as I get a little bit of time to make sure that my tank is on F and not on E, I'm golden. Maybe that's the difference between men and women.
Maybe.
The spending weekends on the couch while she runs the house. I think that there's ways around that. I think that if she did everything that she needed to do during the week, the weekends can wait.
I agree.
I think that's poor time management. And that's why I was like, I'm gonna get hate on for this.
Yeah.
If it's her job to run the house and it's his job to go to work and he's working 40, 50, 60 hours a week and he's coming home and she's getting mad that he's not doing shit in the house, he's already done his job. If you're a stay-at-home and the house is your job, it's not my fucking responsibility to step in and do this shit for you. Raising the kids is a different conversation. Doing the housework is not the same thing. If my job is to go out and dig ditches all day, you don't come to work with me on Monday and dig ditches. Or if I've got to go to work on Saturday, you're not coming with me to dig ditches. That's my job. For us, my job is editing and making sure that the back end of all of this is working. I don't ever ask you to do any of that shit because it's my job. Just like you don't ever ask me to do the dishes. That's your job. This comes down to making sure that you time manage effectively, make sure that you get your shit done and learn to fucking relax a little bit. Your house being dirty for the weekend's not the end of the fucking world. Unless you've got like dirty diapers laying all over the place because you're too lazy to get off the fucking couch and throw the diaper away after you change a child, that's a problem. Or if there's, dirty bowls of SpaghettiOs stuck all over the place because the kids aren't putting it in the sink and you're not paying attention, that's a problem. But all of that other shit could be resolved, and that could be resolved by making sure that you're making sure that your kids are doing what they need to be doing. I think that spending time on the weekends, you guys should be taking the weekends off. Let the fucking house get dirty. You got to clean it Monday anyways.
Right.
Let's let this motherfucker be dirty. Let's go somewhere. Let's take the kids to grandparents and drop them off and go do something this weekend. We'll dirty up the hotel room instead of the house, and that shit can wait until we come home. Let's not go anywhere and binge Netflix together because I haven't seen you all week. Right? Like, I don't know. I really have a problem with the last one.
Okay. Next one is avoiding difficult conversations, walking away during arguments, or refusing to talk about long-standing problems with let's not get into this right now.
So this is one of those double-sided coins also. Walking away during an argument looks like two different things. One is literally just walking away from an argument and never resolving anything. And the other one is I'm really angry right now and I need to cool off. I'm going to take a break. We're going to go for a walk. I'll be back in 30 minutes. So how that looks matters. The second part of this, refusing to talk about long-standing problems with let's not get into this right now. This is that everything is going good right now. Why are you bringing this back up? The why they're bringing this back up is because the last time they tried to get it brought up, it wasn't resolved. And they're holding on to unresolved bullshit because you're not willing to have the conversations with them to validate what they're going through, apologize, and start making amends. It's also important to recognize that you can change your behavior and be working on doing everything that they need you to do, but because you didn't validate their emotions, they're still hung up on it. It's okay to feel however you're feeling.
Right.
I may not agree with it. You may not agree with it on my end. We obviously have some shit to process right now. So let's absolutely get into this right now so that we don't have to do it again in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
Next one is letting romance die, never initiating dates, compliments, or gestures, stopping flirtations, surprise, or creative energy.
That's the worst.
The laziness.
All of it.
Yeah.
That whole thing. Never initiating dates. Never initiating, period. And like without dates on there, people would think that you mean sex. But never showing initiative. How about that?
That's good.
That'll absolutely kill some fucking romance because now you're showing that you're not interested anymore. We said early on in the relation on the podcast that you should constantly pursue your person. If they don't feel like they are the hottest thing in the world to you, the way that they felt in the beginning, things are going to start to fade away. And that comes from the initiation of all of things. And then stopping flirting, surprise, or creative energy, that's falling into that routine. This is just what my life is. I don't have to chase her. I've already got her. I'm tired. She's tired. We're just going to go home and watch TV because that's what our life has become. You can do something really simple as like getting a chocolate bar for your person when you go to the gas station. It does not take much to just be like, hey, I still love you. I got you something.
Right.
I can tell you're on your period right now. I brought you some chocolate, right? Like, I don't know.
It does not take much. Next one.
I have to ask you, am I supposed to continue doing this?
What do you mean?
Like you've been reading and I've been going.
Oh, that's just how it started.
Okay, I didn't know if that's what you wanted to do. Like you keep looking over here, so I'm trying to fill the space.
It's just what's happening.
I don't want to take over. This was your document. I don't want to take over your episode. So if you have, I can sit here and rock can look pretty.
No, this works.
Okay.
The next one is showing strangers more energy than her. Being charming at work or with friends, but cold or quiet at home. Being the fun guy for everyone else, but emotionally flat in the relationship.
This says I don't like my person.
Yes, it does.
There's actually a whole lot to this. This is being charming at work or with friends, but cold or quiet at home. This means that they are getting more out of their social circle outside of the house than they do at home. There's such a huge disconnect there that I would rather hang out and do other shit with other people than be around you. And if we go out and do those things and you're still there and I'm with these other people, I am more close to them than I am to you. And that doesn't mean love. It just means that this is where my relationships are strongest and you're just kind of not a part of this. Being the fun guy for everyone else, but emotionally flat in a relationship, that one, can you elaborate on that? Is this somebody that's like pranking everyone at work and comes home
like he has a different personality. He likes to have fun and be around people and he's laughing and joking and interacting and all those other kinds of things. And then when he comes home, There is disinterest,
Okay. Yeah. That
disengagement.
speaks to just not liking their person.
Yeah. Next point, so we are transitioning the conversation again, is to how long-term emotional instability wears down a relationship. First one is walking on eggshells, and these all have examples as well. This one is every time she brings up needing more help around the house, he explodes, so I'm just a failure now.
That's manipulation.
Yes. She starts keeping her thoughts to herself to avoid conflict. Over time, she says less and feels less.
How do you deal with that?
What?
I'm just a failure now.
Is that what I said? That's what I asked people. Is that what I said?
Well, what if that's what they heard?
Well, then they have to say that. Is that what I just said to you? No. Okay, so what you said is what you heard from me.
What if they say that is what you said?
Let me repeat myself.
Because now conflict is happening.
Yeah. I'm going to repeat myself, and we can either have a conversation about this like an adults, or we can take a break. You can gather yourself and we can try this again. But if that's going to be the reaction every single time, I'm good on that. I really don't do well with people who are explosive and try to manipulate situations like that.
I don't either.
Like, you are not going to put words in my mouth to make you seem like a victim in this.
I know the right way to fix. I know the right way to handle this situation. If that I'm just a failure now, and you say that's not what I said, and that is what you said, the proper way, the diplomatic way to fix that is I am not articulating myself properly. Then I would like to rewind, and I would like to rephrase my wording so that I can properly convey my point, because that's not what I was trying to say. Say it calm. That's the right way to deal with it. The I want to deal with it is if the shoe fits, motherfucker. Like,
yeah,
you are a failure now. If this is where we're going in the conversation and you're trying to manipulate and get explosive, you can be that guy. You are a failure. You have failed at a lot of things. Let me point them out to you so that you can see how I see you in the moment. Since I was trying to have a calm conversation with you and trying to correct the behavior, now you're trying to manipulate me. This is very slippery ground.
Oh yeah.
For me.
Yeah, my toxic comes out pretty quick.
Real fucking quick. Because I'm not going to, I don't do the manipulation thing. If I feel like I'm being manipulated, it brings out a whole different side of me. And I understand that it's my trauma. I know it's my fucking trauma. But I do not do well with that shit.
Yeah. The biggest trigger in all of that is, do you think I'm fucking stupid?
They do.
Yeah.
They do think that.
Right. Yep. The next one is repetitive circular arguments.
I need a second. I just put myself in that position and my heart is beating faster right now. Like I'm a little upset.
Yeah.
Why does this happen to us? Why is that a thing? Because this is obviously not happening.
Right. The emotional connection that you have to it.
It is
the memories that you have.
That is a true trauma response.
Yeah. Your nervous system is having a reaction.
Wow. I want to yell. I do. I want to yell.
I believe that. The next one is repetitive circular arguments. They fight about his phone use. He apologized. It happens again next week. She cries, threatens to leave. He begs, love bombs, and promises change. Nothing changes. 6 months later, they're still having the same fight, now with more resentment.
I don't know what to say about this one.
That made my back hurt.
Yeah. This is placating a situation. The example is they fought about his phone use. He apologized, and then it happens again next week. The apology is shut up.
It's the Band-Aid.
It's not even a Band-Aid. It's I can tell you're upset, and if I apologize, you're going to stop. I don't want to have a bad night, so I'm going to placate you right now, knowing that I can do this again next week. And then we'll have another fight about it for next week, but that's an hour or two out of 168. So I can continue doing what I'm doing out of the 166 other hours that I have to have a 2-hour discomfort where you're upset, and I'll just go back to doing what I'm doing. That's how I view that. That's how I view apology without change behavior. You are nothing more than lip service. That's also a form of manipulation.
I agree.
Could you imagine fighting over the same thing for 6 months?
Fuck no. I couldn't imagine fighting about the same thing the next day. If we had a conversation in the morning and you bring that shit up at dinner, what are we doing right now? Yeah. Am I in the Twilight Zone? I'm not. Now, if it's a conversation of I've thought about more things and I have elaborations to add to our conversation, I'll hear that all day.
Okay.
You have new epiphanies. You just learned something about yourself. There is something I need to be aware of in the relationship that can help avoid what happened in the morning, yeah, 100% those conversations are happening. But if you're trying to pick a fight, or I thought about this and it pissed me off and I didn't think about it this morning and now we're going to hash it out again, we're not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all really super problematic behavior.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that though.
100%.
I think that's more common than you would probably like to admit.
I did shit like that.
I think everybody has. You know, this is the end of the Dazed and Confused movie where the guy gets punched by that dude, or
Yeah.
you know, he ends up hitting that guy and getting his ass kicked. You dwell on something and you fixate on it, and that fixation creates a whole lot of other problems. This is why you need to take time to walk away and think about other things or do something else and process your shit. I don't know. That's a lot.
Emotional outburst followed by intense closeness. She screams, slams a door, blocks him for 2 days, and then shows up with takeout and cuddles like nothing happened. The cycle becomes familiar. Fight, freeze out, make up sex, and then silence. He's exhausted but afraid to say anything in case it sets her off again.
I wouldn't tolerate that.
Me either.
That's one of those things that's somebody living in an unhealed state and doing absolutely nothing to heal themselves.
Yep. And they have an enabler in their life. Next one is one partner becomes the regulator. Every disagreement turns into a meltdown. He spends hours calming her down, avoiding triggers, managing her emotions. He begins to feel more like a therapist or a babysitter than a partner. Eventually, he will disconnect emotionally and physically.
Yeah. I think that there's been a lot of people who have been in relationships where this has become a thing. And I think you find yourself very disconnected with your person, but afraid to leave because you're afraid of the backlash that's going to come from their emotional response.
Or feeling responsible for their life.
That's a big one too. I don't want to leave because what if they unalive themselves? What if they hurt themselves?
What if they lose the job that they have? Or
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. There's a difference between using your partner as a support to lean on in emotional times and then using them as a regulator, like what was just described.
That shit gets old.
Yeah.
People don't want to live like that. I've been saying that a lot lately. I couldn't imagine, like, the better our life gets, like, our life is dope as fuck. It's getting better. Like, it's constantly evolving and becoming more. To think about living in a situation that I've lived in the past, it's fucking like, it's disgusting to me. Like, it's repulsive.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine going back and living in situations like that. Like my cutoff game is already strong as fuck. Like, I'll cut people off over really minute shit.
Yeah.
But like, after living the life that we're living, my propensity for bullshit, or that tolerance, has gotten much, much thinner. There's a whole lot of things in life that I'm not willing to tolerate or deal with. And dealing with an unhinged individual, like, the moment you show me that you're dysregulated emotionally and you can't reel that the fuck back, you are out of my life. Period. That's a rough one, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Emotionally shutting down as protection. She gets anxious and interrogates him constantly. Why didn't you text back? Who were you with? At first, he reassures, then defends, and then retreats. Eventually, he stops sharing anything because everything becomes a fight. She interprets his silence as proof that he's hiding something.
Yeah. That's just another toxic behavior. All of these are super toxic.
Yeah. The next one is passive-aggressive withdrawal. He says nothing is wrong but slams cabinets and gives one-word answers for 3 days. She guesses, apologizes, and overfunctions to restore peace. He never clearly communicates what he feels, just punishes her with silence.
So this is one of those things that gets overcompensating on both ends. Because him doing what he's doing in this situation, slamming cabinets and doing what he's doing, he is overreacting to a situation instead of dealing with it from a calm standpoint. But he's also putting her in a position where she has to overcompensate to try to find her way back into his good graces again. I view that as abuse.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. 100%. Yep. Disproportionate reactions to small issues. She forgets to call him back. He texts, wow, I guess I'm not a priority again. Don't bother. This could have been a calm conversation. It turns into a storm again. She begins to dread communication because everything feels like a trap.
This is also manipulation.
I agree.
That, wow, I guess I'm not a priority again. Don't bother is pity me. I'm the victim. You now have to compensate and make up for what you just did.
You have to get back in my good graces.
If this is early relationship shit, these are all red flags.
100%.
This is something that like you run the other way the moment something like this happens.
Unpredictable moods create unsafe space. Some days he's sweet, loving, and attentive. Other days he's cold, irritable, or gone. She never knows what mood to expect, so she stays guarded. Intimacy can't grow where emotional safety does not exist.
Yep. I don't have nothing on that one.
Emotional intensity replaces real intimacy. Example, the highs are so high, gifts, passion, declarations, and the lows are so low, yelling, withdrawal, and chaos. She confuses intimacy for depth, but it's not intimacy, it's adrenaline.
That speaks to another, more to mental health.
And abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one, relationship becomes a source of anxiety, not peace. He used to feel calm around her. Now he feels anxious every time he hears her voice, wondering if it'll be a good day or another storm. Eventually, he feels more peace alone than he does when he's with her.
Yeah, it's a sign that it's time to go.
Yeah. And now I believe this is the last part of our journey here is when to walk away from a relationship. So this is a question that we get asked a lot in live streams, TikTok comments, emails. When is enough enough? When should I know when to walk away? Everything that we just talked about are really, really good indicators of things.
Yeah.
This is a very rough outline of things that I would pay attention to in a relationship and would heavily factor that in on whether or not I want to stay in it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that a lot of things before we get into this, time frames of relationships matter, how enmeshed your life is, if you're married, all of that factors into things. But my answer to all of this is when it's time to walk away from a relationship is when you no longer feel safe in that relationship.
Yeah.
There's not a right time. If things don't feel right for you anymore, it's time to move on. We're not meant to be with everyone.
Correct.
And sometimes people share time in your life and it's great. And sometimes they have to go their own way and things fall apart. That's just kind of the way that it is. So
repeated cheating, betrayal of trust. You've forgiven them after the first affair, but they've cheated again or continue messaging other people inappropriately. A pattern of infidelity shows a lack of respect for boundaries and commitment within the relationship.
I can see the forgiveness happening on a first time, like a first thing of infidelity and working through that. But I think multiple shows that that's just who they are as a person and they're not going to be happy with just one person.
Yeah.
They want their freedom, but they want the stay at home fake relationship, or maybe they're using somebody for money. Like there's a whole lot of things that go into that.
Yeah.
So I agree on the first one. If it happens once and you're able to forgive them and it happens a second time, got to go.
Yeah. Next one is disrespect becomes the normal. They constantly belittle you in public, mock your dreams, or use hurtful language when you've expressed how much it affects you. And then again, love cannot thrive where respect does not exist.
How far do you let that disrespect go?
I check it in the moment.
I mean, like how far do you let it happen? So like they're non-negotiables for me.
Yeah. Okay.
If you ever disrespected me in public, no matter how great our relationship is, I would have a very hard time coming back from that. I think that I would have an easier time coming back from infidelity than you disrespecting me in public.
I believe that.
And I honestly, I couldn't even tell you why that is. There might be an embarrassment factor there. I don't know, but I would have a really fucking hard time with that. So like being belittled is a problem for me. It shows that you think that I'm less than, right? There's a whole lot psychologically that goes into somebody belittling somebody else. Mocking your dreams. Like you're supposed to be my person. You're supposed to be the person that tells me that my dreams are attainable, that they're not fucking stupid. We can do all this shit together. We're a fucking team. We got this. Let's go. Using hurtful language, I can also see being problematic, especially if there's like name calling and shit. This one is a real problem for me.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that ended my first marriage was I don't appreciate being called a bitch. And when the other person believes that it's just a word, it led to, that's one of those festering things where it's not a big deal in the moment, but as it continues to happen and that lack of respect and you're clearly not hearing how I'm feeling about this whole situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you've expressed that you have a problem with that word and it's
Right.
continued to be used, right?
Yeah, because their belief is more important than what's going on in the relationship.
I don't think it's a belief thing.
Yeah.
No, I think it's I'm more important than you are. That's a superiority thing. You don't matter as much. And let me show you how little you matter. I'm going to use the terminology that I know bothers you.
Yeah.
That's abuse.
I agree.
That is something that Narcissists do.
It's an under the thumb.
Right. Absolutely.
Next one.
Yep.
Lack of accountability. Every argument ends with them blaming you, even when they clearly did something wrong. They never apologize or admit fault. Growth is impossible when one person refuses to take responsibility.
I think that every argument needs to end with both people taking accountability for their hand in things.
I agree.
I'm sorry that this happened, and I'm sorry for my role in blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry that it happened too, and I'm sorry for my role in blah, blah, blah.
Physical.
Hold on. I think that it's important that that's verbalized and it's actually stated out loud because it can also lead to changed behavior because you're now speaking things into existence.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So these are not all of these have to be compounded with other things. A lot of these are, that's a hard no for me and I'm willing to leave the relationship over it. Okay. I wanted to get that out before we continue going down the list.
Yeah. Well, that belittling one, like in a new relationship or somebody that's not living together or not married, that would happen one time. That'd be the end of this shit.
Physical or emotional abuse. They have shoved you during an argument or constantly call you names like worthless or stupid. Abuse, physical, verbal, or emotional is a non-negotiable exit sign.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I don't care where that is in the relationship.
No.
I don't care if you've been married for 20 years.
Yeah. Get the fuck out.
Yep.
There is no coming back from that for me.
I agree. It's weird the way that we have our levels of like what is redeemable and what is not.
Next one is trust is shattered and it cannot be rebuilt. You check their phone because you don't believe their words anymore, and every interaction feels like an interrogation. A relationship without trust becomes a poison for both people, or a prison for both people.
I agree with this one too.
Yep.
The trust thing is a really big one for me. That's one of those things where like I think a conversation could be had of I just don't trust you anymore, and they're like, we need to find a way to rebuild that. And there's a lot of work that's going to have to come into play, and it could take a year or two, right? And like if both people are willing to go through that and they're willing to do the work, it could work. I think more often than not, it's easier to just be like, I don't trust you and this isn't working and I'm out. But that also speaks to the length or the position of the relationship, like where you are in your relationship. Because if that's in the first 6 months, deuces. Like that's just one of those things that there's not even a discussion that needs to be had. That would literally be the breakup for me. At a 6 months mark, like, hey, I don't trust you. I can't do this. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Next one is your mental health is declining. You feel anxious, depressed, or drained every day because of the relationship, and your friends notice that you've changed. A healthy relationship should bring peace, not constant chaos.
I think that there is a time and place for that.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those, this is not a one size fits all situation. If your mental health is declining because of abuse and things that are bad in the relationship, it's different. But if your mental health is declining because you're dealing with a sick partner, like there's a lot of struggle that comes into that. Yeah. Like you should be there,
Unwillingness to work on issues. You pour your heart out saying, we need help. I can't do this alone. And they shrug it off. That's just how I am. You can suggest counseling, compromise, and then they laugh, call it stupid, or accuse you of being dramatic. If you feel you're carrying the entire relationship on your back while they stand still. A relationship cannot survive when only one person is fighting for it.
That this is just who I am.
Yeah.
Is one of those statements that says, I refuse to change. You can accept me for who I am or you can leave because I don't give a fuck enough to change.
Right.
That is one of those statements that I used to use in the past all the time. This is who I am. You can like it or go. Like, I'm not going to fucking change me for you. That says a lot about your relationship. It says a lot about the majority of the person in your relationship because I was broken as fuck when I used to say that shit. That's a huge manipulation thing. Yeah. Because if I say this is just who I am, you need to fucking accept it, and you do, and you don't leave, the next time we have a fight, that's my go-to. You know this is who I am. You know what you signed up for.
Right.
Yeah, that's fucking some gross manipulation shit right there.
Yep. Next one is your core values no longer align. You want marriage and kids, and they say they do too, until 5 years pass and you realize they never meant it. Or maybe you've grown in your faith or your career, but they mock your beliefs or resent your ambition. You feel like you're building a life in two different directions. Love alone cannot overcome fundamental differences in life goals and values.
Yes, ma'am. That last sentence is factual as a motherfucker. Love is not enough. It is not enough. You can love somebody to the end of the earth, but if your retirement and your goals and all your values don't align, it doesn't matter anymore.
Right. Next one, you're staying out of fear, not love. You catch yourself thinking, what will people say if we break up? Or I can't start over. I've already invested so much time. But when you strip away the fear and imagine the future, you don't see happiness, you see exhaustion. You stay because the unknown scares you more than the misery that you live with. If fear is the glue holding you together, the relationship is already broken.
Yeah, I agree. That was also me for a long time. Got so much time. I don't want to start over again. It's cheaper to keep her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot.
Next one, they sabotage your growth or success. You share good news, a promotion, a weight loss, a personal goal, and instead of celebrating, they downplay it or say something like, don't get cocky. Over time, you stop sharing your wins because you feel like you can't shine without dimming their ego. Someone who truly loves you will cheer your success, not compete with it.
Yeah. That shit needs to be, your partner should be your biggest fucking cheerleader. And you get into a relationship with anybody and you try to celebrate your wins and they shit on them, like that's a huge fucking red flag. Mm-hmm. And early in a relationship, you got to go. You got to fucking go. Don't stay in a situation like that. I will cut off friends. Like if you can't celebrate my victories with me, I can't have you in my social circle.
Right.
This is the last one.
All right. The next one is consistent emotional neglect. You have begged for connection, date nights, deep conversations, even just sitting together without distractions. But days turn into weeks and weeks turn into months and nothing is changing. You feel like a roommate instead of a partner, starving for attention in a relationship that's supposed to feel like your safe place. Emotional starvation is just as painful as any other kind of neglect.
I think it's worse.
Yeah.
Well, humans are emotional creatures.
Yes, we are.
You know what I mean? Like that being cut off and that's depression. That's feeling alone. That's feeling like I have nobody in my corner. That is true isolation. And then you wonder why you've been cut off from your family because your partner doesn't like your family. And you no longer hang out with all your friends because when you go out, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And they make you feel like all you need is them. And then the emotional disconnect happens and you are truly fucking isolated, alone with nobody. Yeah, that's a really, really rough one.
You want to stop there?
Yeah. I don't know what page we're on, but reasonable expectations in a relationship could be part 2 if you wanted to do this again.
Okay.
Amanda said, reminds me of my past, how much I've healed and some things I've realized I need to work on still. Oh, isn't that the fucking truth? When we read through these things, there are moments where I want to like tell stories about my past. And there are times that we do, but there's a lot of ugly that's just easier to leave buried. But these episodes and these conversations absolutely make me realize that I was a fucking very damaged, broken person for a very long time. It also brings up a whole lot of things that I realize I need to work on still. Like that belittling thing shouldn't have gotten to me the way that it did.
Yeah. What did you think of today's episode?
It was fun. I realize that when we do these things, I realize sometimes how much I talk.
Yeah.
And I know that's just been the way the podcast has gone because I talk a lot. But I feel guilty doing it. And there's times that I just want to sit here and wait to make you speak. But I don't know. There are times that we record and I have a hard time with it. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. We'll probably be live later on a public live. If we do, we will at the Discord so that everybody knows that we are doing it.
Yeah, and part 2 of this episode will be what I think are reasonable expectations within a relationship that some people may try to use and be manipulative towards saying you're controlling.
Is that what the rest of the document is?
Mm-hmm.
Reasonable expectations of a relationship? Okay, yeah. I fuck with that. I really fuck with that because there's a lot of people out there who won't set boundaries because they think that it's controlling or it's not fair or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm heavy on the boundary setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the next part of that's going to be good too.
I think so. I think it'll probably be better than what we just did.
Yeah.
Because everyone needs the boundary setting. Not everybody's dealing with infidelity. You know what I mean? Yeah. You ready to wrap up?
I'm ready to wrap up.
All right, guys. Remember, you are the author of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.